Hello, everyone. I am Louis Lee from TEDxNACIS, Shanghai. Before starting my story, I want to ask you a question. Where do you often buy coffee? Coffee shop. Coffee shop, make it by yourself. Well, thank you. But what about one more option? This is a cup of coffee I made in an underwater cafe. It tasted appalling, and it didn't even smell like coffee. But it was no ordinary beverage. It carried the infinite hope of mankind for the future. I dreamed to open the first cafe on Mars as a personal brand, Leo Sigma's Space Cafe. Chain brands are taking over most of the financial advantages on Earth, so let's support some local businesses on Mars. Why on Mars? A tremendous goal in the 21st century is sending humans to another planet and finding the next Earth for humans, which space technology-related organizations such as NASA, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and China's CASC are all recently committed to. And Mars is one of the targeted planets. So, I couldn't help thinking, if I were sent to Mars, how would I prepare to live there? Here are the three main obstacles we need to overcome. How would I adapt the uncertain environment? How to produce food out there? And if I feel lonely, can I bring animals as pets, and how will they survive? In order to find these answers, we must simulate space underwater. Because the underwater environment on Earth is the mirror of space. Humans need to rely on external life support systems to survive, experience low gravity, and gravity-free. All astronauts are trained underwater before going to space. For example, NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory. To simulate and adapt the survival mode in space, I must become a certified diver firstly. In 2023, I spent my Christmas and winter vacations on learning scuba diving and obtained several international youth PADI diver certificates. But I encountered a great challenge. Before my first training, I was as confident as a peacock strutting its stuff, telling my coach, with my awesome physical condition, I'm basically a human heater. What's a little cold water gonna do to me? But as soon as I got out from the water, I was actually that peacock, but has been plucked all its feathers, shivering and groaning. Hypothermia was dangerous, so my father drove me from the remote village we dived to the country town. But there was still nowhere to buy a thicker wetsuit, so I just have to make do with regular clothes. As a slender boy, only women's fleece thermal undershirt fitted me. I had no choice but stuff it into my oversized wetsuit, filling all the spaces that were easy to seep water. And I felt much better once returning underwater. The suit was branded Women's Heart. Women's Heart helped me to get through the painful and happy days of learning scuba diving in the chilly winter. And it also inspired me to think proactively to find workarounds in extreme situations. Another problem we must solve is food and resources. I built a lunar camp with my teammates that was more than just a fish tank. There were 2 air chambers under the water of the fish tank, growing terrestrial plants such as cacao beans, simulating a lunar farm. And I used those cacao beans we grew in the lunar farm to make the cup of coffee I've mentioned at the very beginning through scuba diving in this huge underwater chamber filled with air. I sold it to my teammate. His face turned purple and green after tasting it. This project is nominated to compete in the Moon Camp Design Challenge organized by the European Space Agency. And our product is presented to 5,300 students all around 39 countries in the world. Through this, I suddenly realized that space is something for all. Then, my teammates and I were enrolled to operate animals underwater spacecraft. Last year, we successfully completed safe and comfortable dives with a cat and a rabbit. Please check out the video. Our concept is, in the future, space will not only support human life, but also animals and plants that coexist with humans, replicating the ecosystem of Earth in space. This leads to the program I've been participating in the past 2 years, Ursa Minor Interstellar Citizens, abbreviated as UMIC. UMIC is an astronaut artificial factor simulation training experiment to simulate the space habitat of human beings in outer space and alien planets after becoming interstellar citizens. This project was initiated and invited by the main members of the Explorers Club known as TEC and recognized by the UK Innovation Space. In the UMIC program, we discuss, practice, and learn. I also enjoy the multiculturalism, which I experienced through the international cooperative professionals of all ages who shared me a lot of life experiences outside the classroom. Fear turns into courage. Retreat turns into achievement. Timidity turns into confidence. And expectation turns into passion. This is my repeated mental journey in the extracurricular activities in recent years. I will continue to explore with predecessors, do my best to embrace and experience diversities. Last but not least, when we see each other again on Mars, let me make you a cup of coffee, and your face is definitely not going to turn purple or green like my teammate did. I promise. Thank you.